This morning, as lawmakers negotiate their next move, some businesses, well, they can't afford to wait. Bloomberg reporting that nearly 1/3 of U.S. restaurants could close permanently by the end of the year, hitting every state, every city, and every neighborhood. Zoom in on New York City, where more than 2,800 small businesses have already done so, with more than 80% of restaurants and bars not paying their full rent in the month of June. This comes along with a new plea from the Independent Restaurant Coalition urging Congress to pass the Restaurant Act, which would create a $120 billion grant to help keep independent restaurants alive. Joining us now to discuss, two individuals who have felt this impact firsthand and are trying to lead the effort to change things. Tom Colicchio, chef and owner of Crafted Hospitality and a founding member of the Independent Restaurant Coalition, and Gabriel Stuhlman, CEO of Happy Cooking Hospitality. Tom, you warned us of this 4 months ago, and PPP didn't serve the restaurant and bar industry, and here we are. Just personally, as the owner of 6 restaurants, how are you doing?
Well, not great. 2 of those restaurants are open. One has 17 seats out front, outside, and the other we're operating at half capacity indoors and with some additional seating outside. All in all, we're probably at about 17% of our business right now.
17? 17?
17, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gabriel, when we spoke back in May when everything was shut down, you were worried. You own 9 restaurants in New York City. Where do you stand now?
For one, Stephanie, thank you for having me back on the program. It's good to be here with you. From when we last spoke, things were pretty horrible. Where they stand today is unfortunately not much better. We currently have 5 of our 9 restaurants barely operating. They are operating not much better than what Tom reported. We're looking at about 20% of the revenue that we used to make before. Aside from that, I would say the reality of that Bloomberg report that you just shared with everybody is 100% accurate. I think the probability of us likely permanently closing multiple restaurants in our company still remains extremely high.
Operating at 17 or 20%, you just can't afford to stay open. Tom, you believe the Restaurants Act could save thousands of independent restaurants. How?
Sure, it can. Well, it's $120 billion spread over all independent restaurants. Essentially, it's income replacement. It will cover the period from February 15th to January 1, 2021. It'll enable us to pay not only staff, which PPP didn't rent, but also pay suppliers, also to pay for supplies to like PPE for the staff, any kind of structure that you need to build to make your restaurant safe. And so it's the best shot that we have at getting restaurants open. And I think the reports are correct. I mean, the James Beard Foundation did a survey where 85% of the respondents said they probably wouldn't reopen. And so we're looking at millions and millions of jobs disappearing. And so we believe that restaurants are perfectly situated to actually take those stimulus dollars and get them back out, because 95 cents to 90 cents of every dollar that we take in goes out. So if you're talking stimulus, restaurants are a great place to put that. Also, the restaurant industry has been specifically one of the hardest hit industries. I think 25% of all unemployment is from the restaurant industry. And that's because we're forced to shut down. And not only we're forced to shut down, opening up into a market where the pandemic is still raging doesn't make for a great business outlook. And so we're looking at problems for a long time. And quite frankly, all we're looking for is to make sure that we actually have the capital to get restaurants back open so we can hire all our staff back and get through this period and be there once we're on the other side of this.
Gabriel, there's a narrative out there that restaurant owners like yourselves could be up and running in a big way and making all sorts of money, but you can't hire your employees back because they're making too much money on unemployment. Is that an actual challenge that you face?
No, that is not an actual challenge that we face. I would say, are there some? Sure. Is that a massive minority? Yes. I would say some of the real challenges that I'm actually facing, as I have personally been making calls to reach out to people, is people are still concerned about coming to work. There are people that still have health concerns about what is it like to work in a restaurant. There are also a lot of people that I think a narrative that's not accurately being reported on that have permanently left New York. It has come to my surprise how often we made calls out and people said, no, I left. I'm gone. New York's not for me anymore. And I think that this is something that's a reality. You know, I think one of the largest issues that I think the government has been absolutely inept and failed at addressing over the last 4.5 months of this pandemic is this existential question about rent owed versus not owed. And the reality is, how can you sit there in one hand and say that we are not allowed and we are not permitted to be open, and then on the other hand still say that we owe rent? The reality that the purpose of our leases is absolutely been frustrated to me is black and white and clear. But yet our government still fails to address this situation. And we're 4.5 months in, and these kind of conversations are what are forcing me as a small business owner in very tough predicaments with property owners and landlords that I have, where they're pushing me up against a wall and saying, either pay me or we're terminating this lease.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.